And we are back with the GSMC Wrestling Laureate podcast brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. Just to kind of reflect on what we talked about, we had our WWE Monday Night Raw review, we had our WWE NXT preview, and we talked about AEW Forbidden Door 0 hours. So let's jump on into our fourth segment, AEW Forbidden Door review. We're going to talk about the main card, talk about all the wrestling, all the action that took place. So yeah, let's get on into it. All right, so let's do this. So we're going to start off with MJF, this is his first match since returning to AEW from injury. Obviously, after the speculations that he might have signed a contract with WWE or another wrestling promotion. But, obviously you saw at Double or Nothing, MJF come out and have the tattoo of AEW forever, which was actually, kind of, I thought that was pretty cool. That was a good segment. But, Maxwell Jacob Friedman, definitely one of the best wrestlers. Definitely good that he's back on the AEW roster. They definitely needed that little flair. MJF, he pairs really well with basically any superstar. He plays that kind of Triple H, that Randy Orton, that maybe like a young Shawn Michaels kind of role where if you like him, you like him. If you don't, he doesn't care. He's going to go out there. He's going to get his own. He's going to say what he needs to say. He's going to say what he feels like he needs to say. But, definitely, this match was really, really kind of well thought out. Hechicero did really, really well. Kind of like a low-key, really awesome performance by Hechicero. Obviously, he's a bigger guy, but he's very agile. He also has stamina of the yin-yang. He's also a submission wizard. A couple of times during the match, you saw MJF struggling a little bit. I feel like in the whole entirety of the match, I felt like Hechicero kind of had most of the control here. But overall, you saw MJF, come back, kick ass, and is able to prove why he's one of the best wrestlers in the world. So, Maxwell Jacob Freeman still killing it. Forever will kill it. But, I feel like we're lucky to watch it. All right, next match, we have a trios match. We have the Elite against the Acclaimed and Tanahashi. This match kind of went the way I was ultimately thinking it was going to go. This was kind of like a way for the Elite to kind of show that we're still in charge. We're still in charge here. It doesn't matter if you're from New Japan Professional Wrestling, the EVPs, Okada, the Rainmaker, also the scapegoat Jack Perry still run stuff around here. They defeated the Acclaimed. The Acclaimed recently beat the Young Bucks in a proving ground match, but I thought that match was actually going to be tonight for the AEW World Tag Team Championships, but I don't know. It's kind of crazy. You saw Okada. Okada was once the face of New Japan Professional Wrestling, but before then, Okada dethroned Hiroshi Tanahashi. Once again, Okada again proves why the Elite. I feel like the Elite's always on his back. I feel like he carries the Elite often. Obviously, you kind of saw it in the match with the Anarchy in the Arena where he probably broke up a total of like 10 covers. Like it was crazy. I'm not even exaggerating. Oh, maybe a little. But no, that's how important that's how much of a factor he plays within this faction of the Elite. And honestly, out of all of them, ever since he beat Eddie Kingston for the AEW Continental Championship, he's been nothing but money. He's been nothing but money. But I anticipate him at Wembley Stadium to fight a worthy competitor. Should be interesting to see who AEW decides to kind of put him up against. But overall, Okada's probably the MVP of the Elite. You saw obviously the Elite defeated the Acclaimed and Tanahashi, but during the match, you kind of heard like a CM Punk kind of chant here, which is kind of sad because but not really sad because CM Punk really makes an impact in every wrestling promotion he dabbles his feet in. But the crowd seem like they don't really care about the storyline. They're not really into this Young Bucks Elite. And that's something that I've been kind of preaching on this show for quite some time. I feel like the Young Bucks, kind of deserve more. Right now, they're kind of in this territory, kind of this post Cody Rhodes, this post CM Punk, kind of dealio here. A lot of main wrestlers kind of left, but then you kind of Tony Khan brought in a lot of high end wrestlers like Osprey, Mone, and also Okada. But I don't know. It's kind of surreal. I feel like the Elite could be a little more edgier. But I don't know. They're just so damn predictable. Next, we have the American Dragon, Bryan Danielson's defeat Takahashi. Once again, you saw Bryan's neck injury kind of coming into play. At this point, if he says it's kayfabe, and so does AEW reports and stuff like that. But an inside source says that he actually does have, you know, a huge neck, like just it's bothering him. I don't know how long it's going to take for Bryan Danielson to hang up his boots, but I feel like he's kind of paid his dues. He's a former AEW World Champion. Obviously, this was an own hard quarterfinals match. The American Dragon, he might be jumping his way back into the main card, heading toward Wembley Stadium, winning this Owen Hart Cup championship. Could happen. Could happen. All right, next we have the timeless Toni Storm retain her championship against Mina Shirakawa. Shirakawa gave Toni Storm her absolute best. She came in and they had a pretty good match. They had a really honestly one of the best matches of the whole entire pay-per-view. Toni Storm is just so gosh darn talented. It's crazy. She gave her the best, but ultimately you saw Toni Storm come out at the end of the match. Her, Mariah May, also Mina Shirakawa come in and give like a group hug and other stuff that I can't. So check out the highlights on Dynamite, the Toni Storm match. But yeah, moving on, we had Orange Cassidy fight against Zack Sabre Jr. Zack won this match. It was a good bout. Orange Cassidy, I feel like they were trying to push him in singles competition. I kind of don't think that anymore. He's kind of been with the company since 2019. He's been around for quite some time. Maybe he feels like he's kind of in that role where he has to, kind of put over younger superstars and stuff like that. Maybe he's kind of aged. Maybe he's kind of peaked. But I like Orange. I like, obviously love that freshly squeezed, the former best friend with the Trent Beretta, Chuck Taylor. But I want to see Orange do better. I thought this was gonna be a good match for Orange Cassidy to insert himself into singles competition once again, becoming a formidable competitor for the next AEW International Champion. Didn't really see that. Didn't really get that. Kind of sucked. I love Orange Cassidy. You saw Zack Sabre Jr. pick up the victory here. All right, next you have the 3-on-3 Samoa Joe Hook and Katsuyori Shibata against Chris Jericho, Big Bill, and New Japan Professional Wrestling's Jeff Cobb. This match, I was surprised. I was surprised that they gave Hook, Shibata, and also Samoa Joe the win. Right now, the learning tree is reeling. It's getting to the point where, like, on a scale to 1 to 10, it's like a 2.5, barely hanging on. I feel like before Wembley Stadium All In, if AEW wants to continue this learning tree, the FTW champion Chris Jericho, to keep this thing alive, there has to be something big that happens. I personally maybe think that with Jeff Cobb, the addition, he's a little ruthless. He's a little bit on the dark side, if you know what I mean, morally. But, obviously kayfabe, I'm not saying that he's a jerk in real life. I don't know if that didn't come clear. But I feel like it'd be right now probably the best time for Chris Jericho to knock this stuff off right now. Knock this shiitake mushroom stuff off of this whole we're the learning tree. It's not working. It's not working right now. And it's getting a little ugly to see. It's getting pretty ugly to see. Chris Jericho, a legend in both AEW, WCW, and WWE. I want to see. I want to see better for him. I feel like he's he is the learning tree. Yes, he's the learning tree, but he has not had any success from this faction, from this group. Big Bill, a bit washed up, but Chris Jericho just needs to go on a tear. He needs to absolutely just destroy everyone. He needs to just go on this major rampage, this major fire that where you see him jumping into that like hardcore, kind of heel mode here. And they just terrorize, AEW Dynamite. Maybe they find a way to kind of, align themselves with the elite. But, I don't know. Maybe they challenge the elite. Like at this point, anything is necessary. At this point, you got to do something. AEW creative, you got to do something, man. It's not working. Next, we have the 6-man ladder match to determine the vacancy of the AEW TNT champion. You had El Phantasmo, Leo Rush, Dante Martin, Mark Briscoe, Konosuke Takeshita, and of course, the scapegoat, Jack Perry, who everybody knew that he was going to win. Kind of sucks. I did not want to see Jungle Boy go up the ladder and retrieve that title. Hated it. Irks me. So now the Elite have all the gold. They have all the gold. Kind of annoying. The only gold that they do not have is Swerve Strickland's AEW World Heavyweight Champion. But they said the wild card that they're bringing on Dynamite to fight Jeff Jarrett in the men's Owen Hart Cup quarterfinals. It's a wild card. I think it was Matthew or Nicholas Jackson said that the person that's going to be the wild card is going to bring the AEW World Heavyweight Championship to the stable. Going to be interesting to find out who it's going to be. I have a lot of speculations. It could be, Hangman Adam Page. I doubt it's Ricochet. It may be Dijak. Maybe Dijak kind of finds his way as like a big, he was spotted backstage on Dynamite. No, and on oh my God, what did we just sorry, on Forbidden Door. I should be like, dude, Eric, it's like right in front of your face. On Forbidden Door, so maybe Dijak finds his way into the Elite here. But Jack Perry once again he won. He did earn it, so I gotta throw a little flowers his way. I mean, I guess if I absolutely have to. Next, you see Mercedes Mone against the New Japan Professional Wrestling Strong Women's Champion Stephanie Vaquer. So Mercedes Mone, Mercedes two belts. I don't like it. I didn't when she beat Willow Nightingale. I wasn't a huge fan. Did not like it whatsoever. But she is our AEW TBS champion. I'm starting to warm up to her ever since she's won that championship from Willow. She's done really well in defending it. She finally accomplished her dream of becoming a New Japan Professional Wrestling Women's Strong Champion. So you gotta throw flowers. You gotta give credit wherever it's due. That's something my dad always taught me. But oh man, Mercedes Moné. All of a sudden, like she comes from like not fighting a match, debuting on Big Business, and then she doesn't even touch the squared circle. She just cuts the same promo over and over and over again. And all of a sudden, she's a double champion. Like it's crazy, but maybe I'm thinking too much of it. Going to be interesting to see what they furthermore do with Mercedes Moné's character. All right. Also, something, kind of, cool to talk about. You have Britt Baker also making her debut back to AEW. So, maybe she might be the one to dethrone Mercedes Moné for the AEW TBS champion. Just, kind of wrapping this up real quick here. Jon Moxley made a mistake on the last show, folks. Made a mistake on my power rankings. I had Jon Moxley who defeated Tetsuya Naito, but that is untrue. Tetsuya Naito brings the New Japan Professional Wrestling IWGP Heavyweight Championship back to New Japan Professional Wrestling. My bad. I had to, go out get some Panda Express for the fan bam. Kind of glanced over my Twitter and I saw Jon Moxley like in control and I was like, oh okay, like he won this match. He won this match. Came home, watched the Swerve Strickland Will Ospreay fight, and I was like, no thought whatsoever ran past my mind. It was like, hey man, Eric, you should double check that. But although like I do apologize to you guys, I'm not willing, not ready, not also, not that guy to lie to you. Apologize for Jon Moxley because I bet you a lot of Jon Moxley fans heard that and they're like, oh, that's cool. Like, he won. That's awesome. But no, he lost the wild thing, lost the IWGP championship to Tetsuya Naito. So, gotta apologize for that also, kind of throw some flowers at Naito. Lastly, you had Will Ospreay against Swerve Strickland. This match was a 10 out of 10, 1,010%. Swerve Strickland defeated Will Ospreay. Will Ospreay was conflicted. He did not want to use the Tiger Driver 91. You saw Don Callis get involved, handing him a screwdriver, saying, use the screwdriver, use it. Obviously, that distraction, that role play inside of your brain, plays mind tricks on you. So Will Ospreay was stuck in his own head, and Swerve Strickland, whose house, took advantage of Will Ospreay, hitting that hidden blade, hitting that swerve stomp, hitting that curtain call. I think it is. I think he calls it not the curtain call. Oh my god, I can't believe I forgot where he kicks him in the back of the head. Absolutely ferocious, absolutely super cool. The match was filled with respect, and lastly, you had MJF and Daniel Garcia kind of watching from afar, mostly watching what's going to happen with Will Ospreay. Well, guys, do not go anywhere. We're going to end this show. Sorry, excuse me. We're going to end this show with my Tuesdays Today in Wrestling History, where you jump into a time machine on this day, July 2nd, going back to the early 2000s, the late 2000s. So yeah, stick with me. We're going to embark on the greatest time traveling journey in professional wrestling history. So stay tuned.